Welcome back to Legion Builds, where I show you how to bring your favorite fictional characters into games of Dungeons & Dragons. Today we are building perhaps the best addition to the Star Wars franchise, Finn. Finn is a former stormtrooper of the First Order who rebelled and stood firm against their tyranny, eventually becoming instrumental in their destruction. It's only too bad he was pushed into the background to become a secondary character and then a joke. But you know, at least we got a great new Star Wars story that wasn't Space Twilight. Rehashed old Star Wars stories with less plot exposition, weird force powers that make no sense, and mishandling of lead characters that weren't white. Why yes, I am bitter, thank you for asking. In 3 movies, Finn had more character development than anyone else in the new trilogy, and he was treated as a background character for most of the story. The only solace in the new Star Wars trilogy is every character was handled poorly, not just the first lead actor to be a person of color. And I'm back to being bitter. Cool. Because we don't see much of Finn's abilities in the movies, we're diving into the comic books as well. Prior to him taking a stand, Finn was the example of what a stormtrooper was supposed to be. His accuracy and ability to master any weapon with ease, even if he had never handled it before, quickly marked him out as a perfect fighter. And had he stayed in the First Order, he was already earmarked for several promotions that would have quickly led him to the top. But the Force had other plans for the soldier simply known as FN-2187. Though not stated in the movies, it is heavily implied Finn is in fact Force sensitive. This sensitivity grants him enhanced reflexes, speed, and hand-eye coordination. He also seems to have the ability to commune with the Force itself, allowing him to know things that no one can possibly know. A sense that Rey only comes close to after her training. Now, because in the movies he was never trained as a Force wielder like Rey, and we never see the extent of his own abilities, we will not be building to that. But we're still going to be trying a little bit. The goals of this build will be what we saw in the movie. Near perfect accuracy and hand-eye coordination, the ability to inspire and lead people no matter the odds, and finally an awareness to sense danger even if you can't see it. We'll be using standard point array, but we aren't multi-classing, so this is going to be easy. Dex will be first, as your ability with guns is unmatched. Also, when you wield a lightsaber, you're pretty damn good, and those are finesse. Charisma will be next at 14, as people like you. Like, even after being revealed you're a former stormtrooper and an attempted deserter, people like you. Con will be 13. You have spent your entire life from childhood to adult years training to be a soldier, and you're in good health because of that. Wisdom will be 12, as you are not impulsive and very aware of your surroundings. Strength will be 10, you are a soldier after all, and we're gonna have to dump intelligence. I don't want to, as Finn shows great strategic ability and intelligence, but standard point array says there has to be an 8 somewhere. Finn, like 90% of all Star Wars characters, is a human. Does anyone else notice that and wonder what the hell is going on in these movies? Just putting that out there. He's not a normal human though, so we're going to go with variant human. Place +1 into Dex and Con. Now take the crossbow expert feat. This lets you ignore reload properties to all crossbows, being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage on a shot, and you can fire a hand crossbow with a bonus action while holding another weapon. For your skill, take persuasion. For your background, we don't have to have a custom background for once, we can take soldier for intimidation and athletics. Though change this up if you want. We're going to be making a fighter today. This gives you all weapons and armor proficiencies in the game. So you're just going to be comfortable wearing leather armor as much as full plate, and no weapon is foreign to you. For your skills, grab perception and insight. Though you failed a few insight checks in the second movie, every other time you're on the mark. Level 1 fighters gain a fighting style. Archery adds +2 to all ranged attack rolls, meaning right now you're rolling a 7 for your crossbow shots. Second wind lets you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short or long rest. Level 2 fighters gain action surge. Once per short or long rest, you get a second free action. Level 3 fighters receive their subclass. Banneret is found in the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, and these are fighters who are natural-born leaders. Rallying Cry upgrades your second wind. Now when you use your second wind to heal, you can choose up to 3 creatures within 60 feet that are allies and can see and hear you. Now they regain hit points equal to your fighter level. Level 4 fighters receive our first ability score improvement. Raise up your dex for better shots, AC, and initiative. Level 5 fighters gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single action, bringing you up to 4 shots with an action surge, or 4 stabs with a finesse weapon and a hand crossbow shot. Level 6 fighters gain another ability score improvement. Let's bump up your con for better health, as you take a lot of beatings in the movies. Level 7 Banneret fighters gain Royal Envoy. You now gain a new skill proficiency. This can be animal handling, insight, intimidation, or performance. In the movies, you're shown to be good with animals, so get yourself a mount and take animal handling. Finally, your proficiency bonus is now doubled for any persuasion checks. Level 8 fighters gain another ability score improvement. Time for some extra awareness with a feat. Alert adds +5 to your initiative rolls. You can't be surprised, and creatures don't get disadvantage against you if they're hidden. Level 9 fighters gain Indomitable. You can now re-roll a failed saving throw once per long rest, and this counts for death saves as well. Level 10 Banneret fighters gain Inspiring Surge. This upgrades your Action Surge. Now, when you use Action Surge, you can choose one ally within 60 feet that can see or hear you and give them 1 extra attack. Now, this doesn't benefit from extra attack, just gives them 1 extra melee or ranged attack. Level 11 fighters gain a second extra attack, bringing your total number of attacks to 3 or 6 with Action Surge. Level 12 fighters receive another ability score improvement. Cap off your dex. You're now adding +5 to your AC and finesse attacks, +10 to initiatives, and +7 to ranged attacks. Level 13 fighters gain a second use of Indomitable. You can now re-roll 2 failed saving throws between long rests. Level 14 fighters receive another ability score improvement, and we need another feat. Inspiring Leader lets you give temporary hit points to up to 6 allies, equal to your character level plus charisma modifier. You must spend 10 minutes inspiring them, and they must be able to see or hear you and understand you. An ally can only gain temporary hit points between short or long rests, so if you have an hour, you can inspire up to 36 allies. Hell, you can take a short rest and inspire up to 72 allies in preparation for a huge fight. At this point, you're giving 16 temporary hit points. Level 15 fighters gain Bulwark. Bulwark upgrades Indomitable. Now when you use Indomitable to re-roll an Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma save, and there is an ally within 60 feet of you that has failed the same save, they also get to re-roll. Now, like everything else this subclass gives you, they must be able to see or hear you, and you can't be incapacitated. Level 16 fighters get another ability score improvement. Place this into Charisma to give more temporary HP with your speeches. Level 17 fighters gain a second action surge and a third use of Indomitable. Now, you can't use 2 action surges in the same round, so no attacking 9 times in a single round. Level 18 Banneret fighters get improvement to Inspiring Surge. You can now inspire 2 allies within 60 feet and give them 1 extra attack each. Level 19 fighters gain our final ability score improvement, and we're going to place this in Charisma, making it an 18. Your persuasion checks are now adding 16 to the rolls, and you're giving 23 temporary hit points with Inspiring Leader. Our final level is level 20 fighter, and you receive a third extra attack, bringing your total number of attacks to 4 or 8 with an action surge. Let's dive in and look at this build. Unlike your former comrades in the First Order, you can actually hit a target. At range, you're adding +7 to your attacks. With a finesse weapon, you're also not too bad, adding +5 to attacks. Now, against someone who has trained their whole lives with swords, you'll be able to hold your own. You can never be surprised, you're adding +10 to your initiative rolls, and hidden targets can't get the upper hand on you. Finally, you're likable and popular, and you should be. You're giving 24 temporary HP to 6 allies every 10 minutes. Your persuasion checks are 16 before you roll, and you can share your abilities with your allies, granting them extra attack, health, and rerolls. Downside, your wisdom and intelligence stats aren't overly great. Intelligence saves will wreck you. Wisdom, which is actually the most numerous saving throws, isn't bad, but it's not great. You couldn't cap your charisma off, sadly, as well. Finally, you have no magical damage whatsoever, meaning if you don't get your hands on a lightsaber, you are not getting past resistances. In truth, these downsides are just normal standard cons of any build, and not too bad. Unless your DM hates magic, you will get a magic weapon. If you roll for stats, you're going to be better at saves. In the end, you are a natural born leader and an example of what people want to follow. lead your party or even a small army into the fray. Keep your friends close, and nothing can stop you. Finn truly was one of the most interesting characters to be added into Star Wars. He changed the perception of what a stormtrooper is, from a faceless soldier into someone with emotions and feelings. It's only sad that the new trilogy could not actually understand how to utilize this character. If you enjoy Star Wars, go ahead and check out my other Star Wars builds, such as Emperor Palpatine or Star Killer. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, ring the bell to not miss a single new build each week.